All right. Hello, hello. Welcome to my channel. My name is Emmie from Emmie Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. So right now I'm going to be doing a reading for Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, also for your cross watchers, and also for people who find themselves on this video with no Pisces in their chart and they are resonating. So, as we've talked about before, Pisces is going through a purging cycle. With that, make sure you focus on the things that are adding to your growth, not on the things that are detracting from it. So let's just get the cards ready. Can you guys hear wind? Let me know if you guys can hear wind, and I'll close the deck door. All right. Okay. Here we go. Cards are already flying. La, 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 la. La, 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 la. Okay. So usually when you're going through a purging cycle, the things that will trigger you the most are the things that tend to happen, okay? Like sometimes it tends to happen here and there. Other times it tends to happen like daily, multiple times a day. And that just really depends on how much you can avoid the lessons, how talented you are in like refusing to comply with what your soul is trying to do for you and with you. If you're very good at rejecting the lessons, it's probably going to happen multiple times a day. If you're very, very good at ignoring, avoiding, yeah, it's going to be multiple times a day probably. A higher likelihood of that. So some of these triggers are just annoying. Others of these triggers are just like gut-wrenching. All right. Almost done. Just a couple more decks. Oh. We were just speaking about triggers, right? Whatever. All right. So, triggers galore. I think this is a morning of triggers anyways. Both being triggered and being the trigger. I think it's a day of that. I shouldn't say that because the potential of the rest of the day can definitely become kind of stinky. So I probably shouldn't say that. Let's not program our day that way. So almost done. Final deck. I cannot shuffle right now. Okay, we got all three cards. All right, here goes. Oh, we're already being called out. Hold on, let me just make space right here. Okay, so you are the creator of your experiences. The way you choose to experience these experiences is really up to you. If you want to elevate yourself, you're going to have to experience whatever the circumstance is in an elevated manner. You're going to have to see what the lessons are, why this is potentially happening to you, what it's doing for you. If you're just going to focus on the trigger itself, you probably gonna not have fun. Okay. And I honestly, when it comes to purging cycles, it's just not fun, period. And the more you try and make it into something that it's not, the more you're going to experience like a rebelliousness to your process. Okay. So say you got mad, something made you mad, really, really mad, and you're trying to tell yourself you shouldn't be mad. You're probably going to be more pissed off. But if you can flow with it, where you can tell yourself, okay, yeah, you know what, that was annoying. Yeah, I got pissed off, but I have other things that I need to do. And I don't have time or energy for that. Then that will kind of give you acknowledgement, because you feel the way you feel for a reason. Whether it's because a person did something really, really bad to you, or whatever a person did in an innocent manner with no malicious intent triggered the unprocessed events that were intentionally malicious. Either the person did something previously, or someone completely different did something malicious to you and you're now triggered. A completely different person triggered the finishing of that processing. So just kind of assess where you want the rest of your day to go after you've been triggered. Card number 21. It's time to lead. If you're triggered and you allow yourself to, stay in that triggered state and look for other people or things to lash out on because now you're triggered, you're leading yourself to have a not so good experience probably for the rest of the day. I think Pisceans, we have a tendency to not let things go, and we're just very, very quiet about how much it's still bothering us, And it's okay if it still bothers you. It probably still bothers you because you didn't speak your mind, because you felt like you didn't have a voice and your needs weren't acknowledged. Speak your mind. You don't have to speak your mind all the time, because some situations really do not deserve a reaction or a response from you. Some situations just are what they are, an opportunity to test your ability to lead yourself out of that. So definitely make sure you have a good idea of where it is your thoughts and feelings are leading you. Card number 13, power of attraction. You're attracting to yourself the very things that you need. The experiences, the connections, the revelations, those aha moments. Either it's triggered by you or it's triggered by someone else. Either it's intentional, or I'm trying to get this to lay flat. Either it's intentional or your feelings weren't supposed to be heard. Whoever just didn't realize how you would receive whatever it is. You're bringing to you the very things that you need to continue growing. We all are, we're all aware of the secondary meaning of that card. We're just moving forward. Card number 26, compassion. You have to have enough compassion for yourself to work through your struggles without villainizing yourself, without victimizing yourself. It's not an all or nothing, okay? It's not always you are the reason whatever went wrong. It's not always, it's all someone else. They did this to me. I didn't do anything. We have to be careful of existing in that all or nothing, where either I'm the victim or I'm the villain. Sometimes we have to recognize that most of the time there's accountability needing to be had for everyone that's involved, okay? It is hella windy outside. Okay. My dog farted. Okay. Ooh. 5 of winter. Walk away from dishonest associations, realizing that what you thought you wanted isn't the best choice for your happiness. Something that's not worth the effort. That's intense. That is intense. Walk away from dishonest associations, realizing that what you thought you wanted isn't the best choice for your happiness. Something that's not worth the effort. What are you putting so much effort into that's really just not worth your time? if it's not going to grow you, either through support and compassion or through challenge, is it worth the effort? If you're simply there for someone else's growth, someone else's benefit, are you getting anything for your growth? Because Pisceans have a high tendency to really put other people's needs before their own, allowing themselves to struggle really badly, really quietly. You need something that's reciprocal, something that where they share the same level of loyalty that you are offering, freely offering. And that's the thing, you are freely offering this. Other people are not obligated to reciprocate, and quite a few won't. So you have to be aware of who's willing and who's not willing to reciprocate that level of loyalty, friendship, all of that. Card number 19, wishing. Simply wishing for someone to be the type of friend you are or the type of partner you are, it definitely is not. It's wishful thinking, okay? It's not something that's going to come into fruition until you start making your needs known. So, God, I had another thought. The wishful thinking. It's gone. My thought is gone. All right. Next deck. Innocence. You are totally not innocent in your life. You co-create everything, okay? You have to take ownership of the decisions you made that led to whatever circumstance that is. This is no longer about fault or blame. Like, it's not your fault. You don't have to blame. You definitely have to take accountability of your life and your journey. Hold on. I'm told, hold on. Okay, seeing praying mantis can be considered to be good luck or bad, depending on your culture. Because of the praying hands, some Christians say that the praying mantis represents spiritualism or piety. And if found in your home, may mean that angels are watching over you. Excuse me. Praying mantids also represent the power of introspection, meditation, and investigation into your higher self. Let's see. Sometimes it's a symbol of wealth and good fortune, success and large families, peace and patience. I think it's also important to add in there, this is my own thought, okay? When my oldest was a toddler, we saw a praying mantis at the park. Being the mother that I am, he asked me if we could capture it, keep it alive, and learn from it. So I happen to have one of those, I don't know if y'all know, Asian people have Jell-O in big ass buckets. So it's a bucket that has individual size Jell-O cups. I emptied out the Jell-O and I put the mantid in the bucket. And as I went behind it to put a bucket on top, it turned its head all the way around and faced me. It didn't move the body, but it moved its head. So that kind of tells me maybe you need to be aware of your surroundings. Maybe you need to take it upon yourself to look. Another thing that kind of popped up, so we did keep it. And I bought some crickets. I hate bugs. I bought some crickets to feed it, and I dumped it in the big ass Jell-O bin. And when a praying mantis hunts, it doesn't move. It kind of just stares and waits for its prey to come closer within reach, and it will just whoop. So maybe it's time for you to grab that which you need for your nourishment and start eating, okay? I also heard the snapback. For some, I'm not really trying to encourage confrontation, but for some of you, you've been too quiet and too complacent in some poor treatment that you've been receiving from other people. Maybe it's time you snap back. You know, I would prefer no confrontation, but sometimes mofos need to learn from you directly that you're not taking anymore. Because when other people tell them, they have this wiggle room to convince themselves, no, you don't have a problem with it. That person's just tripping. If you have a problem with it, that needs to be known. Okay. Let us see. Card number 33, love the darkness. Allow yourself to fall in love with your shadow. It's the only thing in your life that has followed you through every single event in your life. It's never left your side. It stays with you always. And it loves you like a lovesick puppy. So begin loving on your shadows. Your shadow aspects, your shadow self, is where all of the things that society and family, when you were younger, they told you you couldn't be that, you couldn't do that, you couldn't say that. That's where all of that's hidden away. And to be honest, I found that a large portion of a person's abilities are actually stored in their shadow aspects. And that's because, you know, when it comes to darkness and shadows, as a human being, we have a high tendency to be very afraid of that. As children, so long as we're emotionally, mentally, energetically immature, we won't have the courage to tap into that. Okay. So with that, and I'm not talking about, you know, dark magic and stuff. There's a lot of cowardly people who practice those things. You know, they tap into that maliciousness because they're afraid. So this has nothing to do with that. I'm talking about your personal shadow aspects, like inner child stuff. Your inner child is hidden in the shadows, your shadows. So with that, it was designed to be that way because you can't tap into your abilities, elevated abilities, especially whole maturity. You can't. So card number 42, the word wants to, this is some sort of communication. I'm wondering if it's a logging in of, like, it's almost like an online diary, but maybe it's not a diary. Maybe it's communication with a specific individual. Maybe in that communication, you just need to make your needs known. I don't know. There's like a sort of hidden, like a veiled meaning to it that, like, I can sense it, but it's not fully coming forward in my mind. I'm kind of just like, what? What? Yeah, I don't know. Oh, Michael has to hold these two cards up together. So it probably has to do with twin stuff. We've had enough of that topic. Oh, okay. Honesty, card number 26. There is an extreme need for elevated honesty from you. And it's not that you're a liar, okay? It's that you have become too quiet within yourself. What is air? Air is the major component in order for you to verbally communicate, to have audible sound. When you speak, it's nothing but a whole bunch of different sounds strung together to form words that form sentences that form the communication. Well, in order to make those sounds, you are exhaling air in a controlled manner, okay? It's a controlled manner. So what does fire feed off of? Air. If you quiet yourself too much, you are removing the air that's necessary for that fire to shine bright, for it to flare. You have to be honest with yourself. You have to begin speaking your needs. This is a very, very important thing. If you don't yet have the courage to speak your needs to other people, at least acknowledge them within yourself. You deserve that. At least acknowledging Hey, I've been triggered. Hey, this hurt me. Hey, I feel happy today. Hey, I feel less than today. Whatever it is you're feeling like, you have to acknowledge it because you deserve at least that. If you're only going to have one person who can hear and see you, why can't it at least be you? Why does it always have to be someone else outside of you? Like, I don't matter unless someone else tells me I matter. Well, how about I matter regardless of whether someone sees it or not? I feel really small, but I still matter. My existence still makes a difference. Creation is still holding space for me to continue to exist, whether I understand it or not, whether I agree with it or not. So be the person who hears yourself the most. And this is not going to happen overnight. This is something that takes a long time to develop. That relationship between the self and the soul takes a very long time to develop. It takes effort. It takes energy. It takes your investment into yourself. And maybe it's time for those of us who really go out of our way to help other people. Maybe for those of us that do that, it's time for us to recognize when you do that, you are learning and refining how to care for yourself. Because it's true. All these people you try and help, they are reflections of parts of you that maybe you feel like you can't handle it yet. Looking at that, acknowledging that. Maybe you're afraid that it's going to be too much, or it's too ugly, or it's too dark, or any of that. You have to make sure you start listening to yourself, okay? Card number 33, water. Water can cleanse. Water can create movement. Water, when it surges, is very, very powerful. Water can take whatever shape it needs to from whatever container it's placed in. This tells me that you have the ability to fit into any group you want. And for some of us, we choose not to. We choose to continue to try and tell ourselves that, you know, we don't belong, we're not part of the group, no one really cares, you know, things like that. You have the ability to fit in anything. You have the ability to not just reflect what's around you, but to also transmute whatever it is. You have the ability to cleanse. Water can clean. So what are you doing with your water? Water is your liquid energy. It's hydroplasmic. When you begin to intentionally utilize hydroplasma, it has the ability to accelerate your manifestation ability. That process of manifestation, it takes less effort and it comes a lot faster. It's up to you what you're going to do with it, though. A lot of us like to wall up our hydroplasma. That creates blockages. Why do we wall it up? Because we're trying to control things. Our lack of faith in our higher self and our soul's ability to provide the life and experiences we need to grow without our conscious consent, our fear of that specific process is what causes us to feel the need to control where the energy flows. And if you look at water, how do you control the flow of energy? If you're afraid this water is going to ravage the landscape, you build dams. And what are dams? Blockages. Some people will be like, oh, so I just let anything happen. That's enough. Okay, oh, too much control and no control at all. That happy space is just enough control where you are actively, consciously co-creating in your life. If you look at dams, when too much control is used, a huge dam, that water's not getting through, okay? In order for that dam to have longevity, there has to be a slow release of water, a very controlled release, but it's still a huge blockage. Now, if the dam is not there, the water just flows. So what do you need to do? Build a smaller dam. Because as the energy accrues, it'll completely tear down that smaller structure. If you just need momentary relief, if you just need to gently nudge the flow of the water into a different direction, that's not wrong. That's not bad. You can definitely do that because the water will cleanse away the blockage on its own. Okay. So 10 of Autumn, take steps to ensure the financial security of your children or other loved ones, making wise investments or planning for retirement, honoring family traditions. Wise investments or planning for retirement. So for me, that kind of carries with it the message of like wise investments. Are you investing everything in someone, in a relationship or a friendship, a work thing? You're investing all of yourself into that with the assumption that if you invest enough, later on it'll take care of you. Because shouldn't you be investing in yourself? So, case in point, there is a system that all of us who are stateside pay into. I don't want to say it because they're going to cut the reach of the video. You guys know what that is? The system. And these people have been participating in it for some time with this trust that when I can no longer work, it's going to take care of me. I have these benefits. There's been a lot of talks for some time now about that program being shut down. And that program is not you paying into a personal escrow account for yourself. You're paying into a system. If they shut it down, if not enough people work, there's no money in that to pay you. You're not, it's not a loan. You just don't have any. You're not going to have any. So when it's time for you to no longer work, if that system is no longer active, you're not getting anything. Oh, but I paid into it. Well, you know, I don't know. When you continue to pay into someone else because, you know, they need to be around. I already paid so much of my time and energy, invested so much in their growth. So they need to be around when I need it. It usually doesn't work that way. That type of transactional love usually ends up with the person who invested too much in someone else being left behind. You look at all of these artists, you look at professional athletes, the person they were with as they were struggling to be recognized, it's rare for that connection to continue after they've made it big. It's rare. It's rare. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm saying it's rare. So all of that time and energy you put into them because it's going to pay out later. Once they make it big, we're going to be living good. No, they're going to be living good. And they have the option, the sovereign right. It's fucked up, but they have the sovereign right to no longer need you and replace you. So how about instead of investing in someone else, you invest in yourself? You invest in your growth. You invest in your potential. You make a decision to tap into that potential and begin retrieving your abundance that's already been set aside for you for this lifetime. And that's one of the major things is that we think we're receiving abundance from some big pool of abundance. And if we take too much of it, someone else is going to do without. No, someone else does without. Ooh, 92% at 929. Someone does without because they're choosing not to tap into their own abundance. Has nothing to do with you and yours. You have your own abundance that's been allocated for you. That is only for you. No one else can use it. No one else can tap into it. No one else can one day decide, I don't think I want you to have that. Oh yeah, well, too bad. Because I'm going to have that anyways. So long as I choose to open up the pathways that allow the abundance in. I'm not just talking about money, y'all. Abundance comes in the form of fiat money. It also comes in the form of support, love, acceptance, just a whole bunch of different things that I can't think of right now. But you know what I'm talking about. So 10 of Autumn, take steps to ensure the financial security of your children or your other loved ones. What if that children's statement is about your inner child? Because it might be. It might be that for some of us, our inner child is so like fractured that it shows up as multiple children, because that's a potentiality. No, that really is. With the way society goes, the trends we've been experiencing for several generations already, more and more there's been attempts to separate the family unit and cause unnecessary elevated struggles. And that financial struggle definitely affects the parents' ability to be fully present in their child's life. It just does. It does. When you come from a very low income family, my assumption is that the parents or the only parent has to work probably multiple jobs and take on double shifts just to make ends meet. Well, yeah, that's necessary because the cost of living, the cost of food, rent, shelter, all of that. And so now who's taking care of the child? Who's raising the child? Who's nurturing the child? We usually don't have family members who are available to babysit. Some cultures, yeah. But in this country, typically no. You have to send your child to someone else who's now missing time with their child so they can get paid to take care of yours. See how the cycle, So it's definitely something we have to be aware of. Card number 1, make peace with your past. Whatever's happened in your past, leave it there. Really allow yourself to recognize what it is, the ways in which it was supposed to grow you, burn it up, give it a kiss, and give it back to Jesus. No joke. I'm all serious. I mean, it's funny, but it's serious. Kiss it and give it back to Jesus. Just let it go. Let it go. If it's in the past, it's not something you can change. You can't change that event anymore. It's already happened. But if you continue to relive that event over and over and over, you haven't learned what that past event was trying to teach you. And so now you're repeating it over and over and over. Oh, I think I screenshotted something. Hold on. Let's see. I screenshotted something. Here. Karma said, and I'll post this. Karma said, when somebody is not right for you, God will continuously use them to hurt you until you're strong enough to let them go. Boom. Wow. Really let that sink in. Karma said, when somebody is not right for you, God will continuously use them to hurt you until you're strong enough to let them go. And now you know. If you wonder why your life is so difficult, why you struggle so much, it's unfair and this and that, I'm not trying to tell you how you feel is wrong. I'm trying to tell you there's a way for you to understand why you have the struggles that you do. It's called positive disintegration. It's work done by Dr. Dabrowski. You should look into it. It'll help you to understand positive disintegration. Okay? Okay. So, but what if someone is right, but my dumbass keeps pushing them away and then regrets it later? So they're teaching you a lesson of your own self-sabotage. When you're done sabotaging yourself, you'll be with the one that will help you to celebrate yourself. But that's a cycle. That's something they're choosing too. Their lesson as well as their being your lesson. It's reciprocal. If people think that only one person learns in a relationship, no. Nope. Both learn. You're teaching people lessons just by existing. There's no effort in it. Just by existing and deciding things for yourself, you are helping people to learn. So at some point, you're going to understand that you deserve to be loved like that. You deserve to have someone who chooses to show up every single day. And so long as you don't believe you're worth that, you will continue to push everyone away, not just them, everyone. And honestly, I don't think you regret pushing them away. I think you regret not choosing to allow yourself to be loved in that way. Eventually, you'll choose yourself, and that will come back, maybe in a different person, but you'll receive that love. Okay, it's part of your learning cycle. That's all it is. Card number 26, relax the hold of darkness and be at cause. People who are continuously overly busy. I'm too busy for this, I'm too busy for that. Thank you, Naeem. There's a very high potentiality that in psychological terms, your busyness is a form of avoidance. You're avoiding your life. You're avoiding dealing with yourself. And there's a high likelihood of that. So stop avoiding yourself. Once you become aware that you're doing something that is toxic to you, toxic to your growth, hurtful for you, stop doing it. How do I fix it? Well, just stop and it fixes itself. If your wound, say you have a scab on your arm and you keep picking it, my wound won't heal. How do I make it heal? Stop fucking picking it. Eventually it heals itself. When you keep picking at the wound, if it's emotional, if it's mental, it doesn't heal. But you a genius, baby. It's true. Spray alcohol on it, let it dry out. Stop covering it. When you continue to cover a wound, it has a tendency to not dry out. Okay? My mama taught me that. I wanted the cute ass Band-Aids when I was a kid. I wanted the ones that had the little designs on it, like, you know, Hello Kitty and stuff. And my mom told me, she was blunt. You think you're Americano? I just wanted a Band-Aid. Leave it uncovered because that's how it heals. She said it was a waste of money. Spray some alcohol. My wounds healed a lot faster. I'm just saying. Card number 45, transformation. She had me living in America asking me, oh, you think you're Americano? Like, I don't know. I'm an immigrant. I really thought, I think it's because all of those things that I would hear, I didn't get my citizenship till I was way ass grown. And at that point, I only got it because she then told me, if you get deported, like, oh shit, they're going to separate me from my family. So I became a citizen. That was the only reason. Card number 45, transformation. It's time for you to allow your transformation to occur. Okay, just step out of your own way. Step out of your own way. I received the most transformational advice, very, very simple advice from my friend Charmaine. Charmaine runs Holding Space and she does QHHT sessions. They're like a hypnosis type session it's a system created by Dolores Cannon. So awesome system. She was doing my very first hypnosis session. And again, I have trust issues. They're very deeply rooted. I don't like people all up in my business. I don't, you know, and it's not that I'm secretive. It's just, why do you need to know? Oh, you're so secret. Well, why do you need to know? Answer me that first, and then I'll figure out whether I want to trust you and tell you things. So she told me I didn't have to get out of the way. That if I felt afraid, I had to see myself standing in a doorway. And all I had to do is just move my hips a little bit, just turn my hips a little bit to allow some of it to flow through. And as I get more comfortable, then more energy will flow. And that was quite possibly the most transformational advice I've ever received. I don't know if she recognizes just how profound that was, that little suggestion where there was no forcing me like, girl, you have to trust me. And that's part of the reason why I trusted her enough to do the session, because there's never any force that's used. There's like, okay, these are the options. Both options are okay. What are you going to choose for yourself so that we can figure out how to move forward? And, you know, you don't have to feel afraid. This is something, you know, if your higher self doesn't want you to do it, doesn't want to share, it won't be shared. At no point will you have no control. You're still aware of what's going on. She didn't know my higher self would shove my ass in a box. But that was because I was fighting the process. So Why don't you be your own Charmaine? I should make that into a meme. Be your own Charmaine for yourself, where you can encourage yourself to just small shifts to allow more energy through. I gotta tell her to watch this. Okay, card number 27, hope. Hope is good. It is. But it's also important for you to recognize hope is a very toddlerhood process, okay? That's part of the toddlerhood of your consciousness. When you hope, you're still waiting for something outside of yourself to grace you with something. You're waiting for something to be given to you, something that you have every right and every ability to earn and achieve for yourself. So when you allow hope to mature, it then becomes a knowing. I know whatever happens in my life, I will handle it. It might be very painful. It might be very, very difficult. It might make me feel like I'm going to break down and not get up. But my hope has been transmuted into gnosis. I know no matter what, no matter how long I stay down, eventually I get back up. Every single time I get back up. So that's something you have to allow. You have to allow the hope to mature, to ripen, to allow yourself to enter into a state of gnosis. This is the very thing. Gnosis is the very thing that Jesus, the Christ, was preaching about. It's a knowing. We were robbed of our knowing as a species. We were robbed of our knowing. The very things that help to confirm, help to better illustrate all the things he was talking about has been withheld from us. People will be like, oh, that's not right. It's just a select few that has information that belongs to all of us. When you do the work, this is going to be mind-blowing, okay? When you do the work, you don't even need to go online to find the information. You recognize it's just right there within you. Thank you, Naeem. You recognize it's right there within you. And then you can go online and look for the specific things, the details, just to have confirmation. How did I find Kathara? Because I finally got to the point where I needed more than just a hope that I'm not hurting people. I needed more than just a hope that I'm not imagining that I'm actually doing the energy work that I'm doing. Because I've been able to do this my whole life. No teacher. And in my rebelliousness, right before I went to bed, I cussed Michael out and I told him, you need to prove to me, because I'm not going to keep doing this shit for other people unless you can prove to me that I'm not hurting people unintentionally. This might be demon work. Y'all know how devoutly religious I was. And the next day I woke up with a whole bunch, like all the Kathara manuals downloaded onto my laptop. I was like, what is this? And as I began reading it, I'm like, holy shit. This explains all of these cockamamie-ass ideas I have about energy and transduction, non-specific induction, all of these things. It explained it. And I was like, fuck yeah. This is exactly that's how it happened. I ended up stuttering because it was just so profound. 99% at 944. If you allow yourself to be open to receiving the confirmation you need for the information you already received, you get that. Okay. So those works, those transmissions that I just mentioned, I don't want you to think that it's going to explain to you or teach you how to work my system, because all it does is explain why my system works, my Kokoro 33 system. And in addition to that, it just doesn't feel right anymore. What once felt very, very pure, just does not feel right anymore. And it has a lot to do with my interactions with those who very, very closely follow those teachings. Y'all, they try and fricassee me just because I talked to Michael. I'm just saying, you know, I really value that system or that teaching, those transmissions so much. I value them so much until I recognize, oh, they don't even realize there's a Michael mimic. That they're not talking about the real Michael. They're talking about a fallen angel who's responsible for all of this bullshit that happens in the world. They didn't realize that. And then the person, I don't know if now I'm getting catty, the person who did the transmissions, I had so much respect for her before, but she always made me feel uncomfortable. Just seeing her made me feel uncomfortable. And then I came across one of her videos where she was being interviewed, and she talked about how the Greys would consistently attack her as a child. And I'm like, why did they allow that? 99% at 9:45. Why did they allow that? You're supposed to be untouchable. If you're here doing purity of work, that's not allowed. Because I've had things that tried to access me at night. It's not allowed. Michael blocked it. He blocked it. He was like, no. So I was just like, whoa, and things began to make sense. You can't elevate something above yourself. And that's what I was doing. I was elevating Kathara above myself, my own teachings. I was diminishing myself in order to continue praising these transmissions. They're not her teachings. She states that very clearly. They are transmissions. They are transcription of the CDT plates. They're not her personal work. So, and then I began to question the deliverer. I was like, I don't know about this. So yeah, if it wasn't for the fact that I had interactions with people who are very devoutly following the teachings, the transmissions, this would have never came to me. You know, you guys can see the video. I think my response to Kathara or something like that. I'm good off that. I don't want to be associated with that in any way, shape, or form. But those were the manuals that helped confirm for me, I'm not just making this shit up, because I'm not a quantum physicist. You know, I'm not, I don't do any of that. I understand quite a bit because I see the structures. I see the organization, the subatomic organization of creation. But yeah, be careful of what you allow in. And that includes your belief that something is above you, that something is more, I don't know, something's above you. So, okay, Prince of Summer, romantic, captivating, dramatic, flirtatious, falling in love suddenly, being swept off your feet, the need to stay grounded during a very emotional experience. What if what this is you falling in love with yourself? Going through a process that causes you to fall in love with yourself and appreciate yourself so deeply, you know, and you have to stay grounded in that process where you can't allow yourself to fall so in love with yourself that now you're comparing yourself to other people. Where, oh, I love me more. You don't love yourself enough. You know what I mean? Because some people, they'll become so infatuated with their significant other, and they'll be like, oh, my girl's hotter than yours, only to realize it's an infatuation. True love doesn't compare. So truly love yourself, okay? I'm gonna be honest, Jen. You asked that question, and I don't think the intention originally was to create that, but the participants, I don't know. No comment. I don't know. I don't know. Card number 3 is celebration. Allow yourself to celebrate your growth. Allow yourself to celebrate all the progress that you've made on your journey. Allow yourself to just really, really celebrate. Be happy for no reason other than because you have the right, the authority, and the ability to choose to be happy that day. Nothing happy has to happen for you to be happy. You just simply choose it. You choose it. Just like even though people who really, really love you, you're in depression, and the people who really, really love you are trying so hard to make you happy, but they just can't, because in depression, you are so clouded and heavy, like dense in your feelings, that you just can't find it within yourself to choose to be happy. you know? It's just one of those things. And I'm speaking as someone who suffers from chronic depression. You know, I'm functionally depressed. Functional depression, where it's just always there. And, you know, so sometimes it's been years, but in the past where it's flared up, I didn't have it within me to choose happiness. Does that make me a bad person? Does that make me less than? Does that make me broken? Does that make me anything outside of what I am, which is an amazing person? No. And I think my recognition of that is what's helped me from going deep, deep, deep into like a full-on depressive state, you know, like clinical depression, level of depression. So you just have to be really aware of how your mental processes go. If you allow yourself to go all the way deep, 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 dark, 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 dark feelings, that's going to have a very real effect on your body. That density of frequency that you enter with that level of consciousness drop is very difficult to get out of. It takes time. It takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of patience from the people who are around you. It's a very difficult climb back up. It doesn't mean you're weak. It doesn't mean you're less than. Who chooses to be depressed like that? Nobody. I've heard people, oh, you just choose to be like that. Are you fucking serious right now? I choose to be like that? Well, you're a fucking dick and you choose to be a dick. How about that? Yeah, no. If you have clinical depression, no one, you have cancer. Oh, you chose to have cancer. Are you a fucking stupid ass dick? Okay. Oh, that triggered me. Woo! Yeah, we're gonna just let that go. Just let that go. See that? This is about triggering and allowing what grows you, releasing what doesn't. That kind of rage about that topic, it doesn't grow me. I already recognize I am right in my righteousness. Just let it go. But I woke my dog up. It's okay, girl. You're safe. You're safe. You're safe. She's looking at me like, are we safe? You're safe. It's okay. It's all right. You're safe. She's like, I don't know. You're yelling. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's okay. See? I scratch you. You're safe. You're safe. Let me stop. Let me stop. Oh, God. All right. Hey, there's a ton of Capricorn in that. Oh, that made me so mad. I was sharpening my horn to ram it up someone's ass. Oh, Lord. I don't even have anyone to target. It's some crazy shit. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Well, since I'm already mad, y'all want to talk about twin flames? I'm joking. We're not talking about that. I've chosen to take my readings back. Okay, I'll acknowledge. Okay, yeah, this could potentially mean twin flames. We're not focusing on that. Fuck that shit. Please don't vomit on the carpet, girlfriend. You need to go outside? You better go check. You're not safe now. There's something there. She got a 4 of Wands in reverse. Loss of full tranquility. Unfulfilled romance. Insecurity, tarnished beauty, incomplete happiness. Damn. I probably shouldn't have asked if y'all want to talk about twin flames. Came out in the card. Let me not. I'm sorry. So, okay. Loss of full tranquility, unfulfilled romance, insecurity, tarnished beauty, incomplete happiness. All of that happens when you don't choose yourself. Those are all, well, let me rephrase that. Let me retract and restate. Those are all results of choosing someone else, okay? Those are all results of you choosing someone else's happiness, allowing someone else to be your priority. You can't blame someone. Well, I have to do this. I have to take care of. No, you don't. She all riled up. Come here, girl. Come here. Nobody's out there. I was lying. I'm such a liar. Nobody. Oh, your ridge is up. Put your hairs back down. No one's there. No one's there. Okay. Lay down. Oh, shit. It's all the way up, all the way to her neck. She's hiding her head underneath me. Look at this, you guys. Oh, now she moved. All right. All right. So here we go. Next card. The Hermit card. Loneliness, unattached, soul searching, time need, or time alone. I'm wondering if that loneliness and soul searching comes from our need. We constantly, many of us constantly feel the need to look for our happiness within someone else. Like someone else is going to make me happy. Really? I think we can't expect things from others that we can't provide ourselves. I can't afford a Lamborghini. Someone else is going to get it for me. I don't think so. I'm pretty sure no. I'm pretty sure no. I'm pretty sure unless I buy that Lamborghini myself, no one's going to give that to me. And happiness is a much more expensive thing than a Lamborghini. It's actually priceless. So if you're expecting someone to afford a Lamborghini for you, they can't, they definitely can't afford to make you happy. They don't have the energetic budget to do that. So you have to tap into your own account. Put in your PIN number, swipe your card, put in your PIN, withdraw some of that happiness. I'm just saying, you can do that. You know that, right? You could definitely do that. You have the authority. You're the account owner. Okay? Tap, tap, tap in. Oh, I hate those songs. Just tap, tap, tap in. Okay. I don't even know who sings that. Three of Swords. Distraction, like Lilith, goddess, dark moon, stuff, whatever the hell it is. All the work that I do, I've observed that energy for so many years. It creates confusion. It creates insecurities. It creates internal as well as environmental strife. It encourages that. It perpetuates it. So if you're going to continue to allow that, it's going to continue to exist. The more you feed into it, the more pronounced that negative experience will be. So you're going to have to choose. What are you choosing for yourself? That's a song, brand new Lambo Echo Cop car. I don't know what that means. Like I said, I don't follow that shit. I'm really always off in my own shell. I don't know what's going on in the world. Yeah, I don't know any rappers. I don't know any songs. I don't know any movie titles. It's been years now. Nine of Wands. In reverse, obstacles, adversity, delays, disaster, ill health. There's some fucked up cards. What's going on here? Hey, for real, Michael, what the fuck is this? There's some fucked up cards. We're trying to keep this uplifting and like, oh. And if you continue to allow that to exist, the toxicity, the blockages, these are all very real results of that. Very real potentialities, okay? Thank you, Naeem. The Fool, good friends, happiness, needing to take a giant leap forward. And there you go. When you clear the obstacles and start back at ground zero, you have the opportunity to choose who will be around you. So a lot of times when you go through ascension cycles, especially the very intense ones, what ends up happening is you lose almost everyone in your circle. The first major ascension cycle, that's pretty much a precursor to it. Like you usually, I don't know anyone that's experienced their first major cycle where they didn't lose pretty much every single friend. Where people who they usually would hang out with suddenly began acting as though they just don't exist anymore. You're not invited anywhere. You're not called. You're not messaged. None of that. And oftentimes there's not even any drama going on. Sometimes there is, but most of the time there's no drama going on. You just suddenly stop to exist for people. Space is being cleared, so new people who are in alignment with your growth, who have the ability and the willingness to rise in frequency just like you are. This is something they're choosing for themselves. They come around and you guys begin to bond. Two of Swords, peace and harmony, needing to take the blinders off. Hold on. Peace and harmony, needing to take the blinders, the blindfold off. Keep reassessing the situation at hand. If you don't allow yourself to see what's happening, you're going to consistently feel as though you have to be ready for a fight. You are depleting your adrenal glands, you are affecting your thyroid, and you are overstimulating your parasympathetic system. You're going through adrenal fatigue. You will probably also affect the function, the healthy and proper function of your amygdala and hippocampus. The amygdala is responsible for your level of aggression. You getting aggressive, you need to sit your ass down. Bottom line, sit your ass down, drink some tea, and breathe. Oftentimes when your parasympathetic system is overly stimulated, it affects your vitals. It affects the heart rate. It affects your breathing, the depth of your breathing, your oxygen levels within your bloodstream, all of that. It affects it. Sit down, drink some warm tea. Think of my face. Hey. I'm joking about the hey part. Don't think of me. Think of something happy. 7 of Pentacles. 7 of Pentacles. Impatience, uneasiness, imprudent actions, loss of money, unwise investments. Well, if money is energy and you unwisely invest in other people who are not interested in your investment, then yes, that's what's going to happen. You're going to lose energy. It's time for you to stop investing in other people who really don't want the investment. But I love them. Well, if they don't want your love, you're wasting your love on someone who doesn't want it. You can't force them to accept your love. You can't force them to accept your help. They have to be willing to accept it, or you're attempting to dominate. Oh, hold up. Hello? Yes. No, I'm not giving you information. I don't even know who you are, fool. All right. 7 of Pentacles. We talked about that already. 6 of Cups. Okay. 6 of Cups. The future, opportunities ahead, coming events, new vistas, plans that may fail. So if you're not going, if this is super resonating with you, you can feel it, you're getting the chills, you're getting all tingly, you're getting butterflies within yourself, and you're not heeding this reading. You don't have to, you're not obligated to, but just know, plans that may fail. If your plans involve anything outside of growing yourself, if your plans include, I'm gonna grow myself so that we can be together, that's going to fail. Yeah, I'll just be blunt because I'm blunt. It's going to fail. If your growth is not authentic because you want to grow yourself, if your growth is being inspired by your recognition that if I work on myself and I start loving myself, then my twin flame is going to love me too, that's going to backfire. That's going to backfire. So save yourself the trouble and really just work on yourself. Okay, really allow yourself to grow, to develop an understanding of yourself, of your journey, what you need, all of those things. So, are we done? She tells me to pull 3 more cards from here. I'm not even going to shuffle. Oh, yeah, I am. He said not to shuffle. So I'm going to go ahead and shuffle. Yep. Still don't trust you. Still don't trust them. One more shuffle because he said it's okay to stop. All right. There we go. So. Card number 3, inspiration. Allow yourself to be inspired. Even if the bees sting you, they're a part of your growth cycle. Okay? That's fine. You want to sting me, I'm going to take all your honey. I'm going to live a sweet ass life. Beautiful. So card number 21, beyond the mind, the heart beats. For some reason, this card is telling me that there's telepathic communication going on with you and someone else. If you're like me, you've been sending those telepathic messages to voicemail. Your higher self wants you to stop doing that. Well, me and her ain't talking anyways. We're not friends right now. So, okay. There might be something going on, some sort of event where your necklace is going to be yanked. Now I'm kind of getting this like feeling and visual that your higher self gets totally sick of you not listening, grabs you by your necklace to drag you to the right direction, and your necklace ends up snapping. Well, that snap necklace releases those pearls of wisdom. This is about you recognizing this process. You're probably going to get stung. You're probably going to have your necklace snapped. Bitch, I got 2. I'm joking. I'm totally joking. So, but she does have 2. She does have 2. Okay, if it snaps, it snaps. So that's the release of your pearls of wisdom. Card number 8, be the hunter, not the hunted. What this card is talking about is allowing yourself to receive. Allow yourself to receive the messages. Okay, allow yourself to receive the messages. Stop sending them to spiritual voicemail. Okay? Allow yourself to receive the support, the help that you need. With that, it could be like the emotional support. Sometimes when a divine pair, sometimes if I roll my eyes any harder, it's going to hurt me. Sometimes a divine pair, when they coexist in the same energetic space, their energy actually causes an expansion. And that expansion makes it very, very difficult for other things, inorganic things, unnecessary struggles to enter the space. Okay. Oh, Jessie doll, I thought you were saying blah, blah, blah. And I was like, right? Blah, blah, blah. Okay, let me stop. I'm getting all ratchet. That's Michael's effect on me. So I hope this helps whoever needed the help. I'm sure y'all already knew all of this stuff. And you're like, oh shit, I was just talking about that to myself earlier. That's right. Because you're listening, you're hearing your higher self. Keep listening to it. Allow yourself to transcend all the unnecessary BS circumstances that occur when you don't listen. Yeah. Please give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe. Turn on your notification bell. Join me when I'm live. And if you're watching this recorded, please comment down below. My pearls ain't for everyone. Are you talking about like vajayjay pearls? Or shit, Michael led me into that. I'm so sorry. I should not have asked that. Retract. I gotta go. Bye, guys.